using what? E for M. E for M is subject to BA and CB based on what? Eh? What does BA mean? Subject to CB? Example. Example of CB. Oil product. A good example. Another one. Item being imported by who? Ambassadors. Okay, you're lost. Okay, very good. Then please, if you are lost, please let me find you. Let me know. Thank you very much. Now I'll come back. When you want to import, your request have a reference number. That reference number has a prefix. So BA 2025 what's asset bank 044 blah 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 blah. Now, so when I see a BA, when I see a reference, I can know if it's subject to inspection, I can know the year, I can know the bank. Just by looking at the bank, the reference number is called the bank reference number. So when customs see the reference number, they will know, do we need to inspect it or we don't need to inspect it? If it's BA, they will inspect it. If it's CB, they will not. Because CB is only designated for what the government choose not to inspect, like military hardware. Because if you want to container the bomb blow, you are on your own. Military hardware, for example. You won't get to see those kind of format because they go to CBN. CBN are the one that process more of those formats. I hope you know CBN have a bank. They have a unit that process trade, that process for MEM and NXT. Are you aware? They have a unit. So there was a day I was doing training for them and I asked them, when you goofed, who expects you? When you goof, who expects you? They were laughing. Now we are the regulator, but are you not goofing? Are you not making mistakes? Who expects you? Who come to check what you are doing? And so we have internal control. Internal control, not CBN coming to check and harassing you. Now, so they have such unit. So you get a lot of CP with CBN, but some come to the back, like the one you mentioned, what's the name? Oil products, for example. You get to see that. You get to see that with commercial banks. Now, the reason is because, like ambassador, if ambassador is important, ambassador, you know, an embassy in a country is not bound by law of that country. I'll be aware. Yes. That's why you cannot. I'm coming to this. That's why you cannot arrest someone inside an embassy. You can't. Why? Because it's not part. It's like a mini country within a country. Yes. Now, I'm saying that to say that when the ambassador is bringing anything for himself, nobody is expected to check, and they will not pay duty on it also. They will pay duty on it, and nobody will check. The good will come. They call it diplomatic goods. It's going to come in. That also happens to Nigeria. Like there will be a trade fair in Algeria, September, and we're going to go for trade fair in Algeria. The government is going to go with Nigerian goods, Nigerian exporter goods, and it's going to go CV. I don't know what they will call it there, what format, but it's going to go and enter that country without duty payment, and it's going to enter that country without checking, because they are what? Diplomatic goods, and they are meant to come in for what? Trade fair. Do you understand? So it's not just like that, it happens everywhere. So you understand what I mean by CB now? Okay, now, Form M is valid for how many days? 60 days. It used to be 6 months. Now it's 12 months. And then it can be extended for how many days? Half, that's 180 days. Capital goods is valid for how many days? 2 years. Can be extended for how many days? 6 months. And further extension by CBN by additional 6 months for merchandise goods and 12 months for what? Capital goods. What's a capital good? Machineries, yes. Things that it takes a long time to produce. Some of them might take a year. So you find out that the form is expiring and they've not even shipped because they've not even finished the production of the goods. That's why you have extension of the lifespan of capital goods. Detailed breakdown of the good. Sorry, yes, go ahead.
Back to the BA and CB. I just wanted to ask if they meant something that BA.
I faxed them before, they've not told me, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody know. You familiar of B and CB, right? Yeah. That's exactly. I've been asking. I don't know if any. Even when I'm being trained for CBN, both of us don't know yet.
Based on popular demand, what's the meaning of M?
Okay, no, it's just like NXP. No, hold on. NXT. N is import. It's just representing import. NXT, Nigerian export proceed. From NXT. From N, Nigerian import. From import. So the N is, instead of saying from I, we call it from N. For A, I don't know where they got that one from. Because no, that one is simple. And that one was recent development. Don't leave that one. From A is because you call it invisible, but it's actually service import. It's the right word, service import from A. But we call it invisible trade, which is correct, invisible trade. So, detailed breakdown, CFR into FOB and freight must be stated on the on the pro forma. All goods will be imported to label in English, and importation of goods and LC must be done before the goods can be what? Sorry, information and LC issuance can only be done after the information must have been what? Accepted. Now, but do you know that LC, the rule guiding LC states that you can actually ship before you open the LC. Yes, the rule guiding LC is 1500. But in Nigeria, it's not. Now, what that means is, if you look at the first article of UCP, it says that uniform custom practice for documented credits are rules. They are not laws. So what that means is that wherever they apply, the law of the land supersedes. So you see a number of practices in Nigeria that are peculiar to us based on our regulation or law. And we must abide by it because it's a regulation. But it doesn't stop us from still working with the general rule. Only that wherever there is conflict, like the example I just gave you now, the law of the land supersedes. Items such as food, drink, and drug chemicals shall carry expiry and shelf life. Minimum of shelf life at time of importation. Minimum should have shelf life, rather. So if the good is about 12 months expiration, it must not get to 6 months before I bring it in. Why? So that you bring in good that is already expiring. Ethical practices shall carry information on their performance and capable on their rating. Importation of items not properly labeled shall qualify for seizure or destruction, subject to prosecution. Fraudulent representation of facts will result in what? Delay. Fraudulent misrepresentation of facts. An average importer in Nigeria is difficult to be truthful. It's not their fault, it's the environment. They must undervalue. Because everybody is undervalued. Unless you're a manufacturer and you can always design your private utility production. But if you are buying to sell phone, laptop, clothing materials, electrical appliances, if you are bringing it in, the undervalue, so the good might be $100 unit, can fall in $20. Custom is also aware. That's a custom do upliftment of the FOB. The customer is aware now. It's aware. They will uplift the FOB. Why are they uplifting the FOB? At least let it be closer to the what you're expected to pay. That's why they do the FOB upliftment. MC and BC is routed 2 or 3 through the bank. That means a typical trade transaction have 3 original bill of lading, then you can have 3 original invoice, packing this and the like. It will be split into 2. 2/3 on one side, 1/3 on the other side. 3/3 can come together. Why are we splitting it? So that 2/3 can go through the banking system. That means exporters bank will send it to who? Importers bank. But that one will be delayed. And you know our process here. So 1/3 is sent from the exporter directly to who? To the bank. So the bank can process the part ahead of the other one arriving. That's why you are not expected to release first set. I know sometimes you do customer service and release first set. God help you that the second one did not come. And then CPF they come the file. Then you have to explain how you paid, how you release document when you don't have the full set. It's really not wise to release that set until you get the full set. Raise up your hand. Have you have a situation where you have a file, you process the first set, and you file the wrong deal? And then when 90 days, when people was due, the person that wants to process cannot find it in the file. Anybody? You are not expensive. Are you serious? You must be very meticulous. You have experienced it, have you? You know, how are you not experienced it now? You now go and check all the files you collected. Luckily for me, when that happened to me, when we collect files, then you will fill a form to give the officer assistant to bring the file. And the officer will go and file that form you fill when they get the file. Now that I have the file, I do that every day. So whenever issue like this happen, all the file that you work on that day, I can easily retrieve them. Why? Because I have a record. And luckily, every time when I do that, you find it resting in one of the files. Because it was wrongly filed, because you have to deal with a lot of documents. Remember? And the way the system was then, it's difficult for you to deny. Why? Your name will be on the system. You are the one that imputed it now. So your name will be, you are the one that logged it, your name will be showing you. So it's easy to know that you are the one that treated it fast. Then you have to go and look for it. So 2/3 goes to the bank, 1/3 goes to the bank directly from the exporter, 2/3 goes from the exporter to the exporter's bank, from exporter bank to the importer's bank. Not valid for foreign exchange transaction 2/3. That means 1/3 can go to the customer directly. The completed form is submitted electronically to the bank with the following documents attached: pro forma invoice, insurance, permit, and the like. Importer shall ensure that pro forma invoice is in accordance with the import procedure. What's the expiration date for a period for a pro forma invoice? Why? Because the price can change. Documents be forwarded to the bank at the verified and shipping documents forwarded to the bank before the arrival of consignment to facilitate quick clearance. In case of personal effect, the applicant shall forward relevant documents to customs. However, where detailed goods are found to be in excess of passenger concession, they shall be liable for clearance applicable to commercial goods. If you bring in goods into Nigeria, if you travel, wait for holiday and you're coming back, and you have like 3-4 suitcases, if they have similar shoe size, you can prove and claim that it's for you. And maybe you allow it to go because it's personal effect. But if there are different shoe sizes, and you claim it's your family, they are your own. They are your own. Because you can't prove that you're not going to sell it. So you have to pay it. Because it's now beyond what? Passenger concession.